up, everybody? My name is Morgan, and it is officially February, which means I will be leaving for the trail this month. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm counting down the days. I cannot wait. In today's video, I want to talk about what I'm doing to prepare to leave for the trail. Now, I've read a lot of articles and I've watched a lot of videos, and I wanted to make like my guide of what exactly I'm doing to make sure I'm ready to go. There are 3 different categories. I kind of broke them down into of things that I'm trying to make sure I have taken care of. The first is my stuff at home. I don't want to have to worry about what's going on at home in my personal life when I'm out on trail. I just want to take care of what I need to on trail and not have to worry about stuff going on at home. The second category are things that need to be taken care of at home for the trail that I want to make sure I take care of before I leave for the trail. Hopefully that makes sense. And last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about my physical and mental prep before I head out here this month. Let's go. All right, here we go. So the first category is things that I'm taking care of at home before I leave that are strictly to do with my home life. The first thing I want to do is make sure that all of my bills are taken care of before I leave for trail. So everything is pretty much on auto pay, and the stuff that is not on auto pay, I am working out a way to make sure my family has my money to send the bills off. Worst case scenario, if I have to go online and do online bill pay, I can, but I want to make sure that I don't have to worry about a bill being late or not being paid because I was on trail. This includes my insurance and my registration for my car. The way my insurance and stuff is set up, it's kind of, the trail is in the middle of 2 different cycles, so I don't really want to cancel that. But I definitely need to make sure everything is paid, registered, taken care of before I leave so that I can drive when I get back. I also got a hold of my internet and television company, and I was able to, well, for one, I canceled my television and just kept the internet, but I am able to put my internet on a seasonal hold. I basically just pay a small fee so I don't have to worry about canceling my service and redoing it and returning the equipment and all that. But honestly, it's not that bad, so it's all good. I also am making sure that my cards work when I'm gone, so my debit card, my credit card, all that, making sure that they are aware that I'm going to be traveling so I don't show up somewhere and not have any money because my card, they thought it was theft. So I'm making sure that those get taken care of. Also, on the money side of things, in the great state of California, we pay for our recyclables, which means that when you take your bottles and cans in, you can get money for them. Well, basically it's the money. You already paid for them, but you get the money back. So I am going to be taking my recyclables in, and that should give me not that much money, but a little bit of extra money before I leave for trail. Also, I have a dog. He's the cutest little dog you ever did see. And I have to make sure that everything is good with him before I leave. He will be luckily staying with my parents. He likes it over there. I mean, he gets sad when I leave him, obviously, but he has another dog to hang out with over there and he likes it. So I'm making sure that he has enough food and has everything ready for them to watch him. Also, for my job, luckily I was able to take a leave of absence from my school district. For those of you that don't know, I am a teacher. Well, I was a teacher and am going to be a teacher in the future. Not currently, I don't have a job, obviously. But I am making sure everything's good to go so when I get back from trail, I can go right back into the next school year with them. So I am making sure that they are fully aware that I want to return and basically making sure I have a job to come home to because that will be nice. I also am making sure that I am doing my taxes before I leave because that is not something I want to have to worry about out on trail. That sounds horrible. So I will be taking care of those here probably within the next couple of days. And lastly, I'm making sure that I am up to date on my dentist. I actually am going like a couple days before I leave. I actually just went to the doctor a couple weeks ago and got the A-OK to go ahead and head out to trail. I was having some chest issues and some breathing issues a couple months ago, but those seem to have sorted themselves out, hopefully. I got all my prescriptions up to date. I will have enough for trail, so I don't have to worry about trying to find a doctor to prescribe me something like an inhaler. I also am going to be getting a haircut right before I leave for trail. Thank goodness, my hair is way too long, it's driving me crazy. But all of my personal appointments and stuff, I'm making sure those are taken care of as well before I leave. I also wanted to mention, even though it probably goes without saying, is I'm making sure that my house is nice and clean. All of my food is going to be tossed except for like canned goods and stuff. because I want to come home to a nice clean house, A, and B, I don't want things going bad while I'm gone. And I also do not want ants. My mom insists that our town was built on an anthill, so no thank you. That would be a bad surprise to return home from trail to. So yes, I'm making sure my house is clean, my food's out, everything is good with that. Next, I want to talk about what I'm doing at home to get all of my gear and everything ready to hit the trail. So I'm ready to go when I step foot under that arch. So first and foremost, for getting ready for the trail, the first thing I did before I did anything was I registered my hike. I went to the Appalachian Trail Conservancy's website and I registered my hike. They appreciate if you register your hike so that way they have an idea of who all is going to be out there. And it also helps show other people who's going to be out there so they know when to plan their hike to kind of space the people out. So first and foremost, I registered my hike. Another thing I did was plan out how exactly I was getting to trail. Actually, the first thing I did was register my hike. Second thing I did was plan how I was getting to trail. I had to book my flight. Actually, it's multiple flights because California to Georgia is kind of far. I booked that. I booked any hotels that I needed. I booked my shuttle to the trail, and I also booked where I'm staying that first night when I get to trail. So I tried to make sure all of my logistics of how I am getting to Amicalola Falls State Park were taken care of, because that is one less thing for me to try to stress out about. I like having that all dialed in, taken care of, don't have to worry about it. Also, I'm making sure all of my gear is ready to go. These videos that I've been making about gear have really been helping me dial in what exactly I want to make. So if you have not seen those, go ahead and check those out. I have 4 so far, and I will be putting out a full-on everything gear list here pretty soon. So I'm making sure though that I have everything that I need. If I don't have something, I'm ordering it. Making sure that all of my medicine is up to date and will last me the trail. And making sure that everything is restocked in my first aid kit and my repair kit. Also on top of that, I am working on my gear maintenance. So I am putting reflective stickers on things that need reflective stickers. I'm making sure things are clean. I'm making sure things work. I don't want to get out there and then surprise, your stove doesn't work. That does not sound like any fun to me. So I'm making sure that everything is in good working order and is ready to rock and roll once we hit the trail. Along with making sure that all of my gear was clean and maintained and ready to go, I also sent all of my clothing that I'm planning on wearing off to Insect Shield. I have not used them before, but it seems like it's a pretty good little system. Basically, I usually use permethrin and I spray it on my clothes and it helps keep mosquitoes, ticks, bugs, all that away. But after 6 washes, you're supposed to reapply that. And to be totally honest, I don't want to have to worry about, oh no, my permethrin doesn't work. I gotta find some ASAP or I'm gonna be attacked by mosquitoes and ticks. So I just sent it off to Insect Shield. Now I don't have to worry about it. It wasn't the cheapest option probably, but for my peace of mind, a little bit of extra price was worth it to me. I also have to make sure that I'm spraying permethrin on the things that I could not send off to Insect Shield. So things such as my shoes, my hat, my backpack, all of that needs to be sprayed. I will be doing that before I go. I also need to make sure all of my technology is ready to go before I leave. So I have to activate my Garmin subscription. I'm kind of waiting till the last minute to do that because that thing is not cheap and I don't want to pay for it when I'm sitting at home. I also downloaded the Far Out app on my phone, which I have used before, and I love that thing. It is great. If you have not used it, highly recommend if there's a trail for Far Out. I'm a big fan. I also wanted to make sure that I have things to keep me occupied on those long and boring days. And to be honest, I'm spending an entire day traveling out to trail, so I'm gonna need to keep myself busy during that. So I wanted to make sure I have lots of podcasts and music to listen to. I feel like I've been making playlists left and right to make sure I have all the music that I'm going to want to listen to, because that would drive me nuts to have a song stuck in my head and not be able to listen to it for a couple days. So hopefully I have all the songs that I need for now at least. I also want to make sure that all of my resupply items are taken care of. I made a couple of boxes for the first couple resupplies that I'm going to want to send boxes for. Obviously I'll do something at grocery stores and that type of stuff. But I want to make sure at least the first couple that I know for sure that I'm going to want are ready to go. So someone just has to tape it up and mail it out to me. I also wanted to make sure that all of the items that I'm going to want sent out for resupply are ready to go and very clear where they are, so there is no mistakes on what gets sent to me. I also, this is the teacher coming out in me, made a Google slideshow of all my gear, and it is very clearly labeled with pictures, so whoever's sending it to me knows exactly what they're sending. Because, that's gotta be helpful, right? I also, in the Google Slides, included some examples of what a breakfast would look like, or a dinner, or a lunch. So that way, if I run out of supplies, or I need one of my family members to send me out a box, they know exactly what to put in there, hopefully. I also have been trying to test out a lot of the trail meals. 1, to see if I like them, and 2, to make sure that I'm cooking it right. So for example, like the Knorr rice sides, you can't use exactly the amount of water that it says on the package, or it'll come out soupy and not as great. So I've been playing around with how much water to put to make sure that I don't make my meals all gross. So just making sure that I know how to cook things so I don't get out there and have a terrible meal, because I thought I knew how to cook it, but I didn't. So we'll see. Lastly, for things that I'm getting ready for when I go on trail is my family. I know they are very nervous about me going out there. Some of them probably think that I'm crazy, which, fair enough. But I want to make sure that all of their questions are answered before I leave, and they understand what it's going to be like out there. I bought my family members the AWOL guide. There's like multiple copies floating around my family. And I'm showing them how to use it, how to track where I am, especially my grandparents. My grandpa's like highlighting and writing, and he is a big fan, it seems like, of that. But I like to be able to say, hey, I'm at this mile at this shelter, and have them be able to go in, highlight, write, do whatever they want, so they know exactly where I am. I feel like it gives them a lot of peace of mind, and it also probably will give me peace of mind knowing that they know where I am. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about the mental and physical prep that I am doing for the trail before I leave. Starting with the mental, I read Zach Davis's book, Appalachian Trials, and it was very helpful to me. I have done a couple of longer hikes, but never anything as long as a thru hike. So it helped me to kind of get an idea of what to expect out there. I also, let's be honest, watch a ridiculous amount of YouTube videos just to see what the trail's like. Another thing I'm paying attention to when I watch those videos are the struggles and some of the difficulties that people have out there, to try to see if it is a fixable issue, if it's something that I can do ahead of time to help set myself up for success, or B, if it's something that people just struggle with because that's just the trail. Mentally prepare myself for the fact that that's going to be an issue, and so when it happens, I'm not so surprised, and hopefully that will help me have a better attitude when things go wrong and not be freaking out about it. I have also been trying to familiarize myself with the trail and get an idea of what kind of towns and hostels and resupplies and everything, so I'm not kind of going into it blind. I have been really, really careful to not plan out too much, because to be honest, it's a waste of time, because you can get out there and anything can happen and your plan doesn't matter. So I've been trying not to overplan. It's hard for me, but I have been trying to make myself familiar with some of the big milestones and some of the fun areas of trail, tricky areas of trail, all of that, so I kind of know what I'm getting myself into without planning. Here's where I'm going to stay, and I'm going to walk this much, and all that. Just kind of getting a big picture idea of the trail. Another thing on the mental side of things is I've been trying to spend as much time as I can with my family and my friends and my cute little dog. Well, he's a big dog, but anyway. I want to make sure that I'm enjoying the time I have with them before I don't see them for months on end and miss them, and hopefully I will not get as homesick, but I know, I probably still will, but it'll be nice to spend the time with them while I can. Honestly, it's just been really nice to spend the time with my family. I got to go on a trip with my grandma out to Chicago. That was so much fun. And it's really been nice to be able to do things with them that I don't normally get to do when I am at work or just busy with everyday life. So that's been a fun side effect of me taking this year off to do this hike. As far as the physical side of things, I have been, trying to work out, walking with a pack, lifting weights, all of that. I've also been trying to work on stretching and just general mobility. I played softball my entire life, all the way through college, and I have a lot of tiny little injured body parts that like they work, but like they kind of hurt. For example, my ankle. I have a bad ankle. I wore an ankle brace growing up, so I'm trying to do exercises to help strengthen that ankle. Also, I have a history of IT band issues, so I've been trying to make sure that's nice and stretched, so when I get out on trail, I don't have old injuries causing me more trouble. And lastly, for the physical, I've been trying to drink lots of water and eat healthier foods because I know those are not going to be as available out there. And honestly, I just don't drink enough water because I like Dr. Pepper too much, but I really need to start drinking water. So I've been working on that and it's going okay. All right, well, that is my list of things that I am doing to prepare to leave for the Appalachian Trail. Honestly, it's kind of a lot. That's why I made a list to make sure that I didn't forget anything. So hopefully that is helpful. And if you forgot to do something and you noticed it on my list, go do it. Thank you for watching. Like I said, hopefully this video is helpful. Be on the lookout for some more videos and pretty soon some trail vlogs. Hey! Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe, and I really appreciate all of your support and your help. Thank you.